Alright guys, so before I show you the performance for this trick, I do want to just talk about the performance that you're about to see for this video. So this trick that I'm about to show you guys actually requires a lot of spectator involvement and also a lot of misdirection, like a lot of misdirection. So most likely, a lot of you guys are going to be able to see some of the moves that I accomplish in this trick. Trust me guys, the goal of this performance here is not to fool you. I'm not trying to fool you. And if you see what I do, great, because honestly, I'm not trying to fool anyone here. But trust me guys, if I had a spectator, this trick would look much better because this trick requires so much misdirection, and since the camera is staring down at my hands, then that just completely removes the element of misdirection because I have no way of like distracting your attention from anything, and you guys are staring at my hands the entire time. So you're probably gonna catch some of the moves that I do, but that's totally okay because later I'm gonna show you guys how you can perform this trick to like real people and how you can really misdirect them and just make this trick look absolutely amazing. This trick is a total killer. Trust me, I've performed this for real people, never been caught doing any of the moves because misdirection is very, very key in this trick. So this is just like a rough idea of the performance right over here. So first we can have the deck be completely shuffled by the spectator, doesn't even matter. And I'm gonna have them select any card in the deck. They can touch any card they want to. So let's say they go ahead and select this card, all right? I'm not looking, but they can go ahead. They can even sign the card if they want, doesn't even matter. But we're going to place the card here back on top of the deck, and actually I'm going to have them lose the card anywhere they want to in the deck, just like this. Square it up, shuffle it up, doesn't even matter. Everything completely random, just like this. So anyways guys, I want to tell you guys something about the two types of magic tricks. So there's sort of like the one type, which is pretty much like the normal type of magic trick, where the spectator selects a card and the magician does some cool way of finding it. But that's not what this trick is. This trick is actually the other type of magic trick where the spectators do all of the work to find their own card by themselves. And it's a really, really cool process because all the decisions made in the trick are made by the spectator. I have no influence over their decisions whatsoever. And you guys will see how this works right now. So basically, if this was a normal trick, it would look something like this. It would be like, so I'm trying to go through the deck here. Maybe I'm like moving all the cards around, trying to like look for some key cards or something that would try and help me like, you know, find out what your card is. Maybe I could do some like little mind reading thing where, oh, maybe your card is like a red card, your card is a black card. No, this trick is not like that. Trust me guys, this is not like that because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you guys have 4 chances at finding your card. So if I had a spectator, I would have them touch any 4 cards they want to as I just spread through the cards like this. They can go ahead and touch any cards they want, it does not matter. Let's say they touch these 4 over here, just like this. So we have these 4 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna lay them out here on the table, just like this, all in a row. And what's gonna happen is now we're gonna be narrowing down these 4 chances to 1 single card. So basically, I would have the spectator basically choose any card they want to point to. Let's say they choose this card here. All right, perfect. And let's say they choose this card here. Perfect. And now they have two cards left to choose from. And let's say they choose this one here. So I say, perfect. You touch these 3 cards, and we narrowed it down from these 4 cards to this 1 card over here on the table. Now, if I had a spectator, I would ask them to please go ahead and flip over this card. And as you guys can see, it is their card, the 6 of spades. Now that is pretty cool, guys. But remember, they had 4 chances at finding their card. And what if they had chosen one of the other cards? Well, to be honest, I don't really think they would have been that far off because I think their intuition is pretty spot on. 4 6s, just like this. So anyways, guys, that was just like a rough idea of the performance without a spectator, without misdirection. This was just so that you guys can get a rough idea of what it looks like. But now I'm going to teach you guys how you can perform this to real people and fool them completely. So now for the tutorial. Alright guys, so this trick is actually pretty easy, and I'm going to teach you guys how to perform this for a real live audience or a real life spectator right now. So this trick is completely impromptu. All you need is just a normal deck of 52 cards. So that is the one thing. You are going to need a full deck of cards for this trick. You might be missing some cards, like there is a chance that the spectator might choose a card that doesn't have all four of a kind like in the deck. Like if they choose a 7 and you're missing like the 7 of clubs, for example, then you're not going to be able to do this trick because you aren't going to be able to find like the 4 of a kind. You are going to need a deck of 52 cards, and that's pretty much all you need for this trick. You just get out a deck and you can perform this to anyone, anywhere, at any time, any place, doesn't even matter. Anyways, this is what the trick starts out like. So basically you're going to shuffle the deck up, and then you can hand it over to the spectator. They can go ahead and shuffle it up as well. Just give some overhand shuffles, doesn't even matter. So now the spectator is going to have a completely free choice at what their card is. So let's say they select this card. It doesn't matter what the card is. Let's say it's the 4 of diamonds. Now in the performance, you really do not want to look at what this card is. So you're going to give it to them just like this, and you're going to turn around, show it to them. Or you can even like hand it over to them. They can look at it, show their friends, show their family. All you want to do is not look at this card. That's all you're doing. Just don't look at this card. And then all you're going to do is just make sure, you guys can do whatever you want at this point, but just make sure you take this card and you control it back to the top. So you can do whatever you want. You can do some cool fancy controls like this. If you want to like control the card back up to the top, you can do a cool false slip cut just like this. What I did was actually a second deal. So what I did was I took the card, I put it on the top, and I said, so well now we can take that card and lose it somewhere in the middle. As you guys can see, I just dealt the second card from the deck, so their card is actually still on top. All that does is it just makes it look like their card is getting lost in the middle. But you guys can do whatever you want, because I'm sure you guys know a lot of controls since you've been watching my channel for a long time. So you guys just do whatever control you want to control this card to the top of the deck. That's all you want to do. So now the next part of the trick, you're going to flip the deck face up, and all you're going to do is you're going to explain to the spectator the 2 types of magic tricks. There's the normal type of trick. Spectator selects a card and the magician finds it in a cool way. And there's also the second type of trick, which is this trick, where the spectator does all the work to find their own card by themselves. So now what you're going to do is you're actually going to be setting up for the end of the trick. And as you're setting up for the end of the trick, you're sort of playing it off as a joke to the spectator. And that's the beauty of this part, is that you really are setting up the deck for like the end reveal of the trick to find the 4 of a kind. But you're sort of like playing it off as a joke to the spectator, and you're sort of like, if this was that kind of trick, I would be going through the cards like this, and maybe I'd like be moving some cards around, and like really what you're doing is you are actually doing these things, but the spectator just thinks that you're pretending to do it because it's like a joke. That's what's really cool about this part of the trick. So what you're going to do first is you're going to hold the deck up to yourself. The spectator is not going to be able to see the cards. They are just going to see this, but you are going to be able to see all the faces. So this is like the exposed view over here. So you're going to hold it up to yourself, and what you're going to do is first you're going to spread from the top half of the deck, and you're going to peek at their card. So you're just going to kind of spread through the top and get a peek at that top card. Now you know what their card is. It's the 4 of diamonds now. So basically, once you spot that card, just quickly keep going, and you're going to explain that you're going to like, oh, maybe if this was a normal trick, I'd be like moving some cards around. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking for the other 3 4s, or the other 3 cards that match their card, which is on top. So what you're going to do first is peek at their card. So you see, all right, 4 diamonds. Now you're going to go through, look for the other 4s. When you spot the first 4, you're going to take it and just put it on the bottom, just like this. And then you're going to keep going. And what I like to do to keep it sort of fluid and natural is I kind of just spread through like little blocks of cards. I don't like to go one by one and then move the card one by one, move the card one by one, move the card. That doesn't really look natural. What you want to do is you want to go through like blocks of cards like this. And then when you move the cards back and forth, they won't really be able to tell that you're doing it. It just kind of looks like you're just going through the cards randomly. But once you find like another 4, you're just going to kind of go through the cards like this. And when you find one, just kind of move it casually to the bottom of the deck just like this, and then casually just move this next one here to the bottom just like this, and then just keep going. And then you're going to explain this trick is not like that kind of trick. And also this entire time you don't want to show the spectator what you're doing, so keep this all to yourself. This is all to your own face right over here. The spectator cannot see what you're doing. Now you're going to take the deck, hold it face down, make sure not to flash these 4s on the bottom. You want to keep those concealed until the end. So now what you're going to do is you're basically going to have the spectator have 4 chances at finding their cards. So you're going to have them basically touch any 4 cards that they want to. And what you're going to do to make sure they don't pick the top card or they don't pick the bottom 3 cards is just kind of like spread through really, really slowly and just say, so I want you to pick any 4 cards from the middle of the deck, and that will just ensure that they won't pick the top card or the bottom cards. And that will just make sure that they pick some cards from the middle. If you go really, really slow, then they'll be forced to, because they'll be like, all right, I kind of want this trick to end already. Well, they're not going to be like that, but you know, they're going to be more likely to choose a card as you spread through, just like this. Is that 4? Okay, perfect. So once they choose any 4 cards, as long as they choose 4 random cards, cards, that's perfect. You just don't want them to choose the top card or the bottom 3 cards, but any 4 random cards is perfect. So what you're going to do is once they touch 4 cards, you're going to just spin them out just like this and take them out and hold on to them. And you can kind of show them off to the spectator. And what you're going to do is you're going to get a little pinky break right here underneath the top card, just like this. So you can see I'm holding a little pinky break just like this. And you're going to take the 4 cards, place them on top of the deck, and still holding this pinky break here. Now you have 5 cards above this pinky break, and you're gonna pick up everything from the break. So now you're holding 5 cards here, and you're just gonna count them one by one, but you're only gonna count 4 of them. So you're gonna count 1, put it on top of the deck, 2, and then you're gonna count 3, and you're holding a double right now. You're actually holding a double, but you're gonna place this on top of the deck as 4, just like that. And now you're just going to spread out 1, 2, 3, 4 cards to go on the table, and their card will always be this card right over here, the second card from the right, just like this. And these 3 cards are actually random cards. You haven't switched these out yet for the 4s. You're going to do that after they narrow down the search. So for this next part of the trick, you know that their card is right here in the second position from the right. It's right over here. And all you have to do is keep your eye on this card, and basically you're going to be doing what's called a psychological force. Now, if you don't know what this is, I'm not really going to get too much in depth because I actually have made a video all about this type of force. So please go ahead and check that out if you do not know how to do a psychological force. But basically, all you're doing is whatever the spectator says, it doesn't even matter what they say, because at all times, you're going to be left with this card, and these 3 cards will always be left back. It doesn't matter what they say, but this is always going to be the outcome. So as you're doing this entire psychological force process, you're going to have them point to cards, and you're just going to be talking to the spectator. You're not even touching the cards at this point. The deck is in your hand, and they're not even looking at what you're doing. So what you're going to do is you're going to be riffling up 3 cards from the bottom and catching a pinky break just like this. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3 with your thumb, and then hold a little pinky break just like this. And these 3 cards are the 4s. So you're going to be switching out these 3 cards in just a moment for these 3 cards on the bottom. How you're going to do this is you're going to get a pinky break just like this, and then transfer that to a thumb break. So how to transfer it is you're going to go like this, and you're holding a gap here. So then come over with your right hand, and now just hold that gap with your thumb instead of your pinky. And you're going to move your hand so that it's not really on the center of the deck, but it's going to be more on like the right edges. So it's not going to be on the left edge, not going to be on the center. It's going to be more on the right edge of the deck. What you're going to do is you're going to take the 3 cards here on the bottom, kind of slide them over into your hand so that they go right next to your pinky here. But you don't want them to go past your pinky, or else they'll see the cards. So you just want them to go about like halfway out. Like I think this is good without the hand covering. This is what it looks like. So, but your hand would go right here, covering it perfectly just like this. And the spectators would just see this. Like they would not see anything. It just looks like you're holding the deck normally. Basically, once you narrow down the search from these 4 cards to just this 1 card over here, you're going to pick up these 3 cards, and you're going to say, okay, so let's recap. And then you're going to recap everything that just happened. Like they touched any card, you lost it in the deck. They touched any 4 cards they wanted to, and out of these 4 cards, they decided on that 1 card. Now what you're going to do is you're going to switch out basically these 3 cards for these 3 cards over here, and you're going to do that as you say, go ahead and flip that card over. When they flip that card over, they're going to freak out because this is the 4 of diamonds over here. As they're doing that, as they flip over the card, all their attention is on the card. No one is looking at you doing this. So all of their attention will be here. Nobody will see you switch out these 3 cards. It will just look like you're putting the 3 cards down and then spreading the deck out. That's all it looks like you're doing in the background. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the 3 cards here, kind of square them up in your hand so that they're in mechanic's grip. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of come over here and square up like the majority of the deck, square that up with the 3 cards in your hand. And your thumb's going to go on top of the deck here, just like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of use your ring finger and pinky here, which have contact on the 4s. They're going to kind of go like this. They're kind of just going to swing the cards over just a little bit, just like this. So you're kind of taking the cards and going like that. That's kind of what you're doing with your pinky and ring finger over here. The random 3 cards are basically just going to go here on the bottom of the deck. The whole switch looks something like this. So you're going to bring the deck over, switch out the cards, and spread out these cards, and then you can kind of set the deck down, or you can spread out the deck. Doesn't even matter. But that's the entire switch. I'll go over it one more time. So first you have these 3 cards which you're going to slide over into your pinky just like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pick up these 3 cards, ask them to flip the card over. As they do that, you're going to bring the deck over here on top, put these cards on the bottom, and then pull out the 3 cards from the break. Spread those out on the table as you set the deck down. And now their card is already flipped over at this point, and they're already freaking out. They think the trick is over. And you're going to say, now I wonder what would have happened if you had chosen these 3 cards that you also chose from the middle of the deck and whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much just like mind-blowing, amazing kicker ending right there. So anyways, guys, that is pretty much the entire trick. You end up completely clean. Everything is totally examinable at the end, and that is just what I love about this trick, because the spectator makes all the decisions and it seems super fair about what they do, and just it seems completely impossible. So I want you guys to stay tuned for tomorrow's video, because recently I actually performed at my high school. I actually performed a card trick in front of an entire audience of like almost the entire school, and it was really cool. So I'm gonna post a video of me doing that tomorrow on the YouTube channel. So anyways, guys, stay tuned for that, and see you guys next time. Bye.